Too hot to do a lot of things today, but not too hot for an indoor rally on global warming. Chief political correspondent Mark Davis tells us activists from around the state say the public must rally around the president's plan to push for more controls on carbon emissions.
For many people, the destruction from Superstorm Sandy last October, the heavy snows we've experienced since 2010, and the current extended heat wave are evidence enough that climate change is a reality.
This is not in doubt. These weather trends and these storms are caused by increased levels of carbon pollutants.
Environmental activists from around the state joined with the state's 2 U.S. senators today to say action on controlling carbon emissions, as stated by President Obama 3 weeks ago, must be addressed. That the costs of damage to Connecticut's shoreline especially should be reason enough for most people to side with those that say reducing carbon emissions is an economic necessity.
I'm police commissioner in the town of Stonington. I can tell you it has cost our police department tens of thousands of dollars in overtime to deal with Sandy, Irene, and the snowstorm just this past January.
They also say this week's heat wave and the air quality alerts of the past 2 days show another imperative for action for the health and safety of the next and future generations.
Economic growth being in conflict with environmental protection is truly a myth. In fact, the two go together.
They point to the growth in the fuel cell business here in Connecticut as a perfect example of how reducing carbon emissions can be good for business.
There's potential for thousands of jobs in that industry as climate action takes effect.
And Blumenthal and Murphy say that President Obama can now move forward with rules for power plants by executive order, because former Connecticut DEP Commissioner Gina McCarthy has now been confirmed by the U.S. Senate to head the EPA. In Hartford, Mark Davis, News 8.